Hi, I'm Stuart, and this is my mental health selfie for Mind. My story started when I was a teenager, when I left home for the first time to study art at university. I didn't really know what was going on then, but I now understand that what I was experiencing were panic attacks, sometimes quite extreme ones, and sometimes as regularly as 3 or 4 of them a day. I felt extremely isolated and very, very alone, very nervous to tell anybody what I was going through because I didn't really understand it myself. Slowly I became more withdrawn and started to confine myself into my room, and it came time one day to go home and visit my family. Unfortunately, on the way home I ate something that I was allergic to, and when I arrived home I collapsed on my mother's doorstep, essentially dying from a very, very extreme allergy. The next few days in hospital were the most terrifying I've ever been through. I really didn't think I'd make it, and the doctors and nurses didn't either, so really it's a miracle that I'm here. Unfortunately, I left that experience even more traumatized than when I went into it. That anxiety disorder and that panic increased rapidly, and I became confined to my room, very, very terrified to eat or drink anything. I lost an awful lot of weight, and I really distanced myself from friends and family. I really didn't have anywhere to turn. But one of the things that I did have was my art, which at that time became more and more important to me, somewhere that I would reach to cope with these panic attacks and these feelings and these emotions that I had. And I started to express what was going on internally in those pieces of work, which I started to share with the world. And I'm extremely lucky that now that's almost become my career. I draw and I paint and I make art every day. Although I'm unbelievably better compared to how I was at my lowest, I still have panic attacks from time to time, and I still have quite bad anxious episodes. But I've become more capable of dealing with them and noticing them when they're flaring up. One of the things that I still use to this day that helps me massively, and I'm hoping it might help some other people who have similar stories to me, is just the act of doodling, drawing, colouring. Not in a precious way. I mean, you don't have to be good at art to do this. In fact, it's better if you don't think about it too much. Well, I find when a panic attack's coming on, I've got better at recognising it in the early stages, and at that point I'll grab my sketchbook. Quite often I'll put my headphones in and I'll start doodling and drawing, and that really focuses my mind on something else. It takes me away from that sort of dialogue. And what I find is that as I get absorbed in that, by the time I've finished it and I take a look at the piece of work or whatever I've drawn, often those anxious feelings have subsided. And one of the things that I've learned is there's definitely a start and an end to a panic attack. And, you know, they always all pass. Even if you think you're going to die, actually, you definitely won't, and they will go. And by doing something in that moment to distract you from the panic attack can be really powerful. So drawing, painting, creativity has been a huge part of how I've coped with that part of my life. And I know that's there for me, and I always reach for it as and when I need it. And it's a vital part of the toolkit, if you like, of what helps me cope. Anyway, I hope sharing this has helped someone else who's going through what I've been through. And thank you very much. Bye.